Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to let you know that we are running a little bit late before we get started this morning. Thank you.
Anyway, all right. Good morning. Going to go ahead and call the July 20th Board of Directors meeting to order. First, I want to thank, I'm going to ask Alfredo to explain how access to interpretation will work. Alfredo?
Yes, so you need me to read the script, right?
Yes.
Okay. In both English and Spanish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually what happens is I ask you to go ahead and read instructions, and then you go ahead and read them and you let people know how the process works, and then we continue on with the meeting.
Go ahead. Okay, good. I'll read the English one. Announcement from the interpreter. To use the interpretation feature, please scroll to the bottom of the Zoom screen where the meeting controls are. Click on interpretation icon. It's a world icon and select English as your language. If you're joining through the Zoom mobile app, cell phone, tablet, etc., please press the ellipsis, then interpretation, and then choose your language. Finally, click on the mute original audio to now hear the original Spanish law in the background. Headsets are available for interpretation. If you are in the meeting room, please check out a headset from the receptionist in the lobby. Bien, ahora voy a leerlo en español para los que hablan solo español. Aviso por parte del intérprete. Para hacer el uso del servicio de interpretación, favor de desplazarse a la parte inferior de la pantalla del Zoom, donde aparecen los controles. Haga clic en el icono de interpretación. Es un globo terráqueo. Y seleccione español o Spanish. Si está utilizando la aplicación móvil del Zoom, celular o tableta, presione los puntos suspensivos, luego interpretación y luego el idioma. Si no desea escuchar el audio original en inglés en el fondo, por favor seleccione Mute Original Audio, silenciar audio original o apagar el audio original. Contamos con auriculares disponibles para el servicio de interpretación. Si se encuentra en la sala de reunión, por favor de pedir auriculares con la recepcionista en el vestíbulo.
We're going to go ahead and start this meeting with our tribal acknowledgement. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the land we call home. The tribal nations of the San Diego region have historically faced injustices. We acknowledge the harmony that existed between the land, nature, and its original peoples, who have since endured displacement, persecution, and systemic oppression. We pay our respect to the unceded territory and homelands of the 18 tribal nations in our region, the most in any county in the United States, from 4 cultural groups, the Kumeyaay, the Guiño, the Liceño, the Cupeño, and the Cahuilla. This land has nourished, healed, protected, and embraced them for many generations in a relationship of balance and harmony. As members of the SANDAG community, we acknowledge this legacy and we aspire to learn from Indigenous traditional knowledge and experiences in undoing the injustices of the past. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Again, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right. Tessa, could you please take roll?
Good morning. City of Carlsbad, Councilmember Burkholder. Present. City of Chula Vista is absent. City of Coronado, Councilmember Duncan.
Present.
County of San Diego, Chairwoman Vargas.
Vargas present.
County of San Diego, Supervisor Anderson. City of Del Mar, Councilmember Gasterland.
Present.
City of El Cajon, Mayor Wells.
Here.
City of Encinitas, Mayor Kranz.
Here.
City of Escondido, Councilmember Garcia.
Here.
City of Imperial Beach, Councilmember Fisher.
Here.
City of La Mesa, Councilmember Shu.
Here.
City of Lemon Grove is absent. City of National City, Vice Mayor Molina. Present. City of Oceanside, Deputy Mayor Keim. City of Poway is absent. City of San Diego, Vice Chair Elo Rivera.
Present.
City of San Marcos, Mayor Jones. City of Santee, Vice Mayor Koval. City of Solana Beach, Second Vice Chair Hebner. City of Vista, Councilmember Melendez. Present. And for the Port of San Diego, Commissioner Naranjo. Here. That concludes the roll call and confirms a quorum.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is the non-agenda public comments. This is for the public and members to be able to provide non-agenda public communications. Per our board policy, the amount of time allotted for each verbal public comment is determined based on the number of agenda items, complexity of those issues, and the number of persons anticipated to offer comments. This allows us to hear for as many people as possible and to complete business while we still have quorum. And so based on these factors, today's meeting, each member of the public will have 1 minute to do their comments. I'm going to turn it over to you for public comment.
At this time, we'll take the first 5 public commenters, and the remaining public commenters will be taken at the end of the meeting. The first 5 are 4 in present: Truth, Michael Brando, Mark, and Consuelo, and 1 virtual, Alex Wong. The other virtual public commenters, including the original draw, will be taken at the end of the meeting. Truth, please come to the podium.
Okay, I'm a truth pill in the flesh. So Lisa, here's a bitter pill for you. The 2 people to your left, that's Sean and Nora, have been doing everything to raise the cost of housing 100% exactly how you described and complained about.
I think there's some misinformation, and that's how we got here. Dios mío.
Totally agree with you. Like saying a road user charge isn't a tax, or suggesting that a road user tax is necessary, or saying the regional plan doesn't meet CARB's 19% GHG goal, or that public transit is a realistic option, or believing there's a way to fund Hassan's behavioral change. In the last executive committee, Nora, you said some mayors have bad intentions. Care to name names? I know supervisors with bad intentions who I just talked to yesterday. And about the last regional plan workshop with monopoly money, who creates the rules of the game, controls the winners of the game, a rigged regional plan. But I guess if you guys don't play the game, then Nora will have to use the weighted vote. So don't do what you all did last time. My suggestion is do a lot more. Don't be afraid.
Your time
Just
has
break all the rules.
expired. Our next speaker, Michael Brando, please come to the podium.
But I also want to publicly apologize to you for some of the harassment, the behavior from some of the individuals in some of our communities and the way they treated you. People can come up here and say all sorts of stuff. 2 minutes, 1 minute, they follow me around. They follow me around. I should be used to it by now because these are all the folks that come to the county of San Diego. They're all my friends. So I'm happy that they're here now. They follow me around. I think we divided and conquered. I think we divided and conquered.
I'm a bit concerned about hearing a lot of San Diego politicians say the term "we divide and conquer" to accomplish their goals.
The reason why we do public comment is because we want the communities to participate. We want public input. I gave up a really, really good job to do this job because I love my community. I want people to have input, but because for so many years, people were not included in the decision-making process in the county of San Diego.
Poisoning the atmosphere, disruptive behavior, lying, gaslighting, threatening, blame shifting, triangulating, using the Karpman drama triangle, and promoting false narratives. Ms. Vargas created such a disruption at the County Board of Supervisors yesterday. And based on that and the past 3 years of her behavior, she needs to step down from this board immediately.
Our next public commenter, Mark, please come to the podium.
Mark, in response to what you said yesterday, Nora, nobody is following you. Nobody actually even cares about you or hates you. I know people who pray for you. I don't mix politics and religion, but you just happen to be the head of organizations that Rosa Corey, they're probably not showing me right now like they usually show people, but her video on YouTube is Rosa Corey, ROSAKOIRE. If you put in part 1, Rosa Corey part 1, it'll come up. The real title is longer, Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21, et cetera. You happen to be heading these organizations that are against the people's will. That was stated really well in a KUSI news video last night from 2 days ago. I saw it. It's on YouTube. And and Elo Rivera, you acting like you own people's property and can tell them what they will do and who they will pay if they want someone to leave their property. It would have been reasonable to ask for a long notification, like 6 months. You should address the fact
Your
that
time has expired. Our next public speaker, Consuelo, please come to the podium.
Consuelo. Nora, did you mean vile statements like "not under my fucking watch"? Now for some more truth. That Bonita meeting went the way it did because my neighbors, my community, weren't buying the county's bullshit. They read right through the lies, and that's truly how it went. But you're a typical politician playing the part, twisting, manipulating, crying, even lying to your staffers' faces. I said nothing that was below the belt. Epitome of a minion is not vile. Is not a vile statement. On the other hand, your lies to the people, especially with regards to that Bonita meeting, I told the crowd that the county is not here to ask permission. They're here to check the resistance they will be facing, the opposition that is to come. And that is exactly what your staffer, Andrew, said. We're here to check the temperament. Where'd she go? Look at you. You can't even handle the heat, sister. You accuse concerned citizens of attacking and being vile because they're not in line with your narrative. You have no
Your
business.
time has expired. Our final public speaker for non-agenda items is Alex Wong. Alex, please go ahead.
Investing in transit. Transit is working in San Diego. In 2019, trolley ridership was comparable to the Portland Max's light rail, both on a total and per max basis. 2019 trolley ridership exceeded that of Denver's light rail and commuter rail combined. MTS ridership alone, before counting NCTD ridership, was higher than the combined ridership of the 5 largest transit agencies in Minneapolis combined, despite San Diego having a metro area population no bigger than the Twin Cities. Transit is succeeding in San Diego. It's getting as much ridership as these cities that are not really any bigger than San Diego, not really any smaller than San Diego, yet are far more reputed for their higher transit ridership. And it's succeeding despite San Diego having less density than these cities. And as San Diego continues to densify in Mission Valley, it continues to build transit-oriented development. San Diego has a shot at retaining its title as the highest ridership light rail in the US as it did in 2022.
That concludes the public comments at this time. The last hand raised, the original draw, you will be called at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. Do we have any non-agenda member comments at this time?
Well, sort of, yes. Sorry, I pushed my button. Thank you, Chair. So it's not about the actual agenda item in closed session. It's more about the process. So it's sort of related, but not truly. So what
I want to talk about is really the agenda item. So let me go ahead and move on. So we are having the discussion and the light.
So where would it be in the agenda, Chair? Okay.
I know that you have some questions that you said previously, so I make sure that in order for me not to make sure that I followed and provided you the right information, I made sure that I got information from legal counsel because I made some assumptions and I wanted to make sure that you got the information and the whole board had the same information set as we're moving forward. We're all making decisions with everyone having the same information. So any other member comments that are not related to this agenda item? Okay, if not, we're going to go ahead and go to item number 2. So this is a special meeting that we're having to have a closed session item related to the selection of the independent performance auditor. And we're going to take public comments on this item first again, and then we're going to go ahead and move forward with the process. I want to make sure everybody understands that based on our discussions and the request of my colleague for today's closed session, I have deemed 3 members of the audit committee to be essential to provide information to the board about the recruitment process. I've asked Audit Committee Chair David Zito to join this meeting throughout the meeting, through the whole closed session process. And then additional members from the Audit Committee, Stuart Halpern and Bob Mansan, apologize for that, will be asked to join the closed session to make brief comments, to make remarks and be able to participate in the process at a time certain. The participation will occur after the interviews and before deliberations begin. None of the Audit Committee members will remain in closed session for the board discussion, including Chair Zito. I want to mention that if the board chooses a candidate for further consideration today, it will be several weeks before the name of the new independent performance auditor is announced. However, once the finalist is selected, we will need time to negotiate with the candidate and then come back to the board in open session for approval of the proposed terms and conditions of employment. For purpose of the satisfying Government Code Section 54957.6, I've asked Second Vice Chair Lisa Huebner and Audit Committee Chair David Zito to serve as our designated representatives of SANDAG to negotiate with the candidate if one is selected today. This means if the board chooses a candidate for further consideration, Mayor Huebner and Deputy Mayor Zito will be authorized to negotiate on behalf of the board. Do we have any public comment on this item?
Thank you, Chairwoman. We have 6 public commenters on this item.
Okay.
The first, Truth, please come to the podium.
Who's in the Truth Closet fan base? It's okay to come out. It's still Pride season. Okay, Nora, you mentioned certain reps here not trusting the audit chair. I don't assume how they feel, but me, I have zero trust after reading SANDAG's audit that Hassan admitted to blocking in violation of AB 805. But, oh man, he's not even here. Forget it. Okay, Nora and Sean, hot mics are very dangerous. I don't know if you have realized this. So Nora, did you and Hassan taint the process if you do it the other way, you think? I don't know. Well, I heard that Sean was busy on Twitter during this meeting, looking at comments. Hey, did you see what this person said? You're supposed to be paying attention. You're not. That's pretty bad. John Kirk said for closed session, Nora can choose who is deemed to be essential for the conversation. It's like COVID all over again. Well, I consider all my reps essential. I like all of them. Most of them. And Nora, you also mentioned a problem of creating layers. Yes, Anna's got layers. I've been trying to peel them to get to the truth. What I got from the last meeting is further distrust of intentions of certain people. Good luck.
Your
with
time has
arguments.
expired. Our next public commenter, Michael Brando, please come to the podium.
Trust is an issue. That's the first thing I ever spoke about when I came here. This process, I don't trust it. Even just being here at the last meeting, the energy field in this room was really creepy. I really appreciated Rebecca and Bill speaking up, but there was some weird energy going on with Nora feeling all discombobulated and making harassing remarks like, we've already had this discussion. And if any of you like Sean and Lisa Huebner are involved in this choice, you need to step down too, because Sean is normally up here laughing and giggling along with Lisa when people are making comments. Like Lisa's looking at her phone right now. It's actually, it's interesting because when people actually first become aware of this behavior, and it is a behavioral health issue, Sean, that they're actually shocked to see the disregard that people who say they want to help other people when you could actually care less.
Our next public commenter, Mark, please come to the podium.
I have no faith in your ability. That the chair, the leaders here, the fact that they have a large influence in choosing any auditor of anything to do with SANDAG, which SANDAG, it shouldn't even exist. It didn't exist before 1980. It's not part of the Constitution. It's not a real part of government. And it shouldn't have the powers it has. And it shouldn't be trying to change our governance and financing for itself, as it literally said in recent meetings. In case they actually are showing my face, people should see these videos. Nora should step down. And I don't hate you, Nora. You were born in Tijuana. I see why you would have sympathies for opening the border completely, like it was before 1970. And I wouldn't have minded doing that. I would not mind doing that if we could free America and then free Mexico, which is even more corrupt than we are, with their guilty till proven innocent, and the cartel being even stronger than the government there. So
your time expired. Our next public commenter, Consuelo, please come to the podium.
Yeah, just no trust. The people have no trust. And let's see what else I got. You accuse concerned citizens of attacking and being vile. Yeah, I got that. I already said that. Yeah, these supposed elected officials are not being transparent. They're traitors, straight out. That's all I got.
Our next public commenter, the original draw, please go ahead.
Wow, I'm surprised you called on me. Last time I had my hand raised and you guys kept lowering it and then told me you didn't have your notes right. And now you're making me wait as the only person until after you do your closed session to finish public comment for non-agenda. It's ridiculous. That's why people don't trust you, because you guys do things intentionally to the public to keep them from speaking. And we're supposed to trust that you're going to pick an independent performance auditor that's going to independently perform an audit on your performance that has, and it's going to be good. There's no trust because of the things that you guys do, and you do it blatantly and obviously, and it's intentional, and it couldn't be more ridiculous. And that's why none of you deserve to be there, because none of you are willing to do what's right. You're all complicit in lockstep with the UN agenda, and it's all treason. So every single one of you, unless you're standing completely against it, need to go.
Our final public commenter will be Paul Henkin. I would like to announce as well that City of Chula Vista Councilmember Cardenas is now present. Paul, please go ahead.
Good morning. If you don't like vile language, take a breath, stick to your civil discourse, and don't provoke the people. If you send swarms of agents to harass us, I doubt we will wait for the broken bureaucratic complaint process. Part of any job is getting yelled at if you mess up. The auditor, Mary, uncovered major graft, improper expenses, contracts not properly documented or unsigned, or some with the work insufficiently specified. We were lucky, but that is why we need a truly independent auditor. Thank you again, Mary. Thank you to the board members who supported her efforts, but please don't leave the audits to chance and have a truly independent auditor.
Your time expired. That concludes the public commenters on this item.
All right, before we move on to closed session, is there any other questions that you have? Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. So I just wanted to discuss my disappointment in the process, and I did leave a message for you yesterday. We weren't able to connect. So last Friday, we spent quite a bit of time of making sure that we were going to have the subcommittee present and that they would be prior to hearing from the actual candidates, giving their presentation and letting us know what their selection is. So right in the candidate brochure, it says candidates deemed most qualified will be referred to the audit committee, which is empowered by California state law to appoint the IPA subject to approval by the board of directors. Then it also says in board policy 39 in section 3.1.4, based on the board's direction regarding whether to hire an individual or a firm, recommend to the board which individual or firm to hire to carry out independence performance auditor responsibilities. And then in AB 805, in section 132.351.4, item number 5, it says the audit committee shall recommend to the board the contract or the firm conducting the annual financial statement audits and the hiring of the independent performance auditor. So we're not following our own process. We're not following the state process. And then on Friday, we were told that we would be hearing from the actual independent folks from the recruitment team, and now we're hearing them after. And I'm just not quite sure why it is that we would be going through.
Jones, I want to make sure that we're very transparent. I don't know how many, I'm assuming you've been through many committees where you've hired folks, right? Because of your expertise and as a mayor and your responsibilities that you've had. I want to make sure that the process isn't tainted. We have, I did exactly what you asked me to do, was make sure that the two folks were made essential so that they can come, right, during the process so they can share the information. all we're going to do, so I just want to make sure there's no conspiracy here. Nobody's trying to do anything. We're gonna review exactly what we said we were gonna do. We're gonna have the committee present to us. I wanted to make sure that this was a process that was fair, that was transparent, and that you don't have any bias about what recommendations are. You get to hear from the two folks that the audit committee recommended to move forward. And then we're going to have an opportunity to hear directly from the chair, and then you'll have an opportunity to hear from the committee members. There is nothing here that we're doing that is illegal. The reason why I didn't call, I texted you back and I said I was really surprised that I was being accused of something that there was no ill intent. I actually followed protocol. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to our legal counsel, who I made sure we got outside legal counsel so that there is no concern that there's some sort of something happening with this information. And I have to tell you that, I've done everything I can to make sure that this is a process that is not only transparent, that we are making sure that we are supporting the recommendations of our audit committee. I actually think that not trusting, because I think this is what it looks like, not trusting the chair, who happens to be an elected official, a board member who has been doing this work diligently. And also we have Luz Molina, who's also another vice mayor of a city here in the county of San Diego, who's been engaged in the process. All of these folks have given their time. The audit committee has done an exceptional job. We have Pam, who's a recruiter, who has also done a lot of work so that the audit committee has been completely transparent, completely operating on their own. They have had their process. They did their own reviews. They did everything they did. The process here today is only for us to be able to hear, we said, we created a process, and in that process, we said, we want to hear from, send us 3 people. Audit committee made a decision to only send 2. They actually made a recommendation of somebody that they want. I don't want to say that out here in public right now, because I think that will challenge the confidentiality of the people who were interviewing today. I don't think it's appropriate for me to say what the recommendation was, but once we go into closed session, I think things will be clear. But I want to make sure that in the public, it's really important for me, because of the work that I do, because of who I am, that people understand that there's no conspiracy here. I have been nothing but supportive of the independent auditor, have been available, have been working with her. So have my colleagues and everyone else. And so I'm going to turn it over to legal counsel to provide legal recommendation and make this very clear for everybody so we can move on, because we actually have one of the folks who were interviewing in the queue, and they were supposed to have a time certain. So go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Mark Meyerhoff. I'm with Liebert Cassidy Whitmore, and I was advising the audit committee as an independent outside attorney. So with regards to AB 805, during the process, the audit committee did interview and has recommended to the board 2 candidates, which is in compliance with AB 805. This board will now be interviewing those 2 candidates. In terms of the audit committee and the members coming in to participate, only essential members can be present during a closed session meeting. To avoid a quorum of that audit committee forming during this meeting, 1 audit committee member at a time will be brought in. The 2 citizens on the committee will be brought in, and they will offer, after this board does the interviews, they'll offer their comments to the board, and then the board will deliberate, which is also in compliance with the Brown Act. So happy to answer any questions, but that's how we would proceed.
Well, I guess I would just add that I'm not completely, I don't really know where the send 3 people came in, because it's nowhere in our process, but we are at that point, I guess. I guess my issue is that on Friday, we went through a whole discussion. I made a motion, and Mayor Wells actually seconded my motion to hear from the audit subcommittee prior to hearing from the actual applicants. And so the process, I pulled my motion because I was told by you, Chair, that we would be hearing from them first.
The conversation was about prior. It wasn't about prior. And so I would have never agreed to prior, because I don't think it's ethical to have somebody come and give you information before you actually get to hear from the candidates, in order for the candidates to be able to not be biased and be as objective as they can. And so for me, that's an organizational management process. Having been vice chair of many corporate governance opportunities, having been an executive myself and having reviewed many interviews. Maybe things are done differently in different situations. I really believe that in order to be objective, you have candidates that we're going to interview today. I want to make sure that no one has any predisposed recommendations. That's all. And so I would really like to continue on with the process. If there's something that is wrong by the end and you decide that neither one of these candidates and the work that our audit committee has done for months is not acceptable, happy to start the process all over. How about that?
Chair, I still have an issue with them not, we're not hearing from the subcommittee first, as we had actually discussed. And I'm pretty
Well,
sure, I don't.
So I think my understanding is that I have, as the chair, it was my opportunity to create the process. So I'm going to go ahead and move to closed session now. And I'm going to ask that
Can I
everyone who
ask a
does not
question
need.
of
Yes, sir.
council? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
thank you, Chair. You mentioned that we're now the board's going to be interviewing 2 candidates. How did we end up with 2 candidates? Was there a vote that sent 2 candidates
Yes,
to us by
but-
the audit committee?
Yes, there was a vote, but we have to have this discussion in closed session. We can't have it in open session because we're going to talk about a process in terms of personnel and how we're going to do the independent auditor. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and move over to closed session and then we can have that discussion, okay? Because I think it's important and we have people who are waiting on the queue. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and go to closed session. I'm going to ask everyone who does not need to be here for that to please exit the room and we're going to reconvene to share any reportable actions as soon as we can.
People are being dealt on.
We will reconvene into open session now. First, I will ask legal counsel, is there anything to report out from closed session?
There's no reportable action.
All right, with that, we will now return to non-agenda public comment to conclude the meeting.
Thank you, Chair. We do have 2 hands for public comment. The original draw will be first, followed by Paul Hankin.
You know, you guys doing that is quite absurd. You always talk about, proper meeting management and whatnot. And you guys can't even manage meetings well enough for the public. And you make them 2 people wait so that you guys cannot hear us, for 2.5, almost 3 hours. It's ridiculous. And Nora's not even there. And she's sitting there, proclaiming that people are following around We don't care that much about her. We care about what's going on in our own community. And you guys just happen to be incestuously on all of these boards. So if you think that we're following you around, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with what is happening in the agenda that you guys are putting down. And it's so sad that Nora can sit there and cry and act like we follow her around, and where people are in the community who have something to say that says is questioning what you guys are doing is horrible, and she has to cry about it when people are being beaten at the Board of Supervisors meetings by the sheriff at their own direction. So it's rather ridiculous that you'll acknowledge some things and not.
Your time has expired. Our next speaker is Paul Hankin. You can go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon and good morning again. The people are using vile language because you politicians are of all stripes constantly force things and push, like taxes, rezoning, urban planning when you're supposed to do transportation planning, illegal surveillance, free speech, improper counting, slush funds, and on and on. Not sure if Nora was listening before you and Mayor Jones mixed it up, but we want everyone to be happy and healthy and not overstressed to the point where it affects your physical or mental health, and you start interrupting with dialogues that are quite frankly a waste of time to 99% of the people. If you don't like the vile language, take a breath, stick to your civil discourse, and don't provoke the people. We expect political meetings to be civil on all sides.
Thank you. Your time has expired, Chair. That concludes the public commenters.
All right. With that, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.